Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thanks so much for joining our Safe Commercial Corridors Grant Program Pre-Bidders Conference. So we're going to go through our slide deck here. If you have questions, please put those in the chat and then we'll answer all questions at the end. This should be about 10 to 15 minutes of the slide deck, and then we'll answer any questions that folks have. So thank you again. And also this presentation is being recorded just for everyone's information. Okay, so about DMPSJ, the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice provides direction, guidance, support, and coordination to the district's public safety agencies to develop and lead interagency public safety initiatives to improve the quality of life in the district's neighborhoods. And we have joining us today our Chief of Staff, Nicole Peckham, and our data analyst, Mike Glazer. So thank you to both of them for helping out. And my name is Julie Sywell, and I'm a management analyst here at DMPSJ. Components of the program, there's this year approximately $2 million for FY25 in grant funds to promote public safety and health through evidence-based activities for residents, workers, visitors, within the area served by the organization and surrounding area called the commercial district. The award sizes may vary. Eligible organizations can be funded for a minimum of $25,000 for projects that meet the criteria outlined in the RFA. And all expenditures using grant funds must conclude by the end of the fiscal year of FY25, which is September 30th, 2025. So the goals of the program are to promote and improve public safety and public health within the commercial district and surrounding area through various evidence-based activities, and to also share results and lessons learned from implementation of the Safe Commercial Corridors program and other public safety efforts implemented by the organization. The funding will be for the following activities: relationship building with residents, workers, businesses, regular visitors, connecting residents, workers, visitors, and businesses with resources available through district government agencies and direct service providers, providing safe passage for individuals who may request accompaniment walking to transit or to their vehicles, assisting business owners with improvements to their security and safety systems and protocols, responding to individuals with substance use disorders, and implementing harm reduction strategies, implementing de-escalation techniques, deterring crime and public safety violations, liaising with residents, workers, businesses, visitors, district public safety and health agencies, direct service providers in the community, and others as appropriate, providing culturally competent services and programming, and also implementing other innovative strategies to promote public safety. What is a commercial district? In FY24 Safe Commercial Corridors Grant, commercial districts were defined as downtown, Adams Morgan, and Shaw. Per the legislation for FY25, it is expanded to the entire District of Columbia, and the Safe Commercial Corridors is open to organizations in the district working to promote public safety and health through evidence-based activities for residents, workers, visitors within the area served by the organization and the surrounding area, the commercial district. Our program timeline, the RFA was issued July 8th. Today we're, we're having our pre-application conference. This will also be posted online along with questions. Any questions are due by this coming Monday at 5 p.m. and those will be posted and answered on our website. And the most important date on this timeline is Tuesday, July 30th. Applications are all due in Zoom grants. No later than Friday, September 6th, DMPSJ will notify applicants of awards, and the grant award begins October 1 and goes through September 30th, 2025. New for FY25, we are doing the electronic application through Zoom grants. There's a link posted on our website. It'll also be in this PowerPoint. And again, due date's July 30th by 11:59 p.m. Manual applications will not be submitted, Everything has to be in Zoom grants. Anything submitted after the deadline is going to be considered ineligible and will not be reviewed during the review cycle. To ensure fairness and consistency, all questions not addressed in the RFA must be submitted in writing by email, and all questions have to be submitted by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, July 22nd. So the grant application, this goes over in the RFA on page 11 with the applicant profile, proposal narrative, project work plan template, budget summary. And then there's the attachment section with other documentation, which include the IRS 501c3 letter if applicable, current DC business license, standard assurances, statement of certification, certification regarding lobbying, debarment, suspension and drug-free workplace, DC Clean Hands certificate, tax affidavit, roster of board of directors, insurance documentation. If applicable, staff license or certification, and if applicable, an MSTEG letter of intent. Here's what the program will fund and will not fund. Grant awards may be used to pay for the cost of salary and fringe benefits for staff, for equipment, training materials, uniforms, first aid, and other medical materials and equipment, and other materials and equipment for the purpose of implementing the Safe Commercial Corridors program. Integration of technology into existing or new systems operated by MPD, focusing on reducing crime. Other specific and approved costs that support improved public safety and health pursuant to the Safe Commercial Corridors program. Grant funds may not be used for the following: food expenditures, travel expenditures, lobbying, expenses made prior to the grant award associated with this RFA, financing existing debt, including payment of taxes owed, expenses which are reimbursed by a different grant from DC government, and personal use or other uses not related to the business identified in this grant. Application review information. This is a competitive solicitation. DMPSJ does not guarantee funding amounts, nor funding source based on previous awards. The scoring criteria, it's based on a 100-point scale. Organization information and capacity is 20 points. Initiative project proposal is 40 points. Valuation and sustainability is 20 points. And the budget and financial management is also 20 points. Okay, so now we are going to move on to, again, to ensure fairness and consistency, all questions not addressed in the RFA must be submitted in writing to our email. And that is by 5 p.m. on Monday. So we're going to move ahead. My colleague Mike is helping out and looking for questions in the chat. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and review questions in our chat, if we have any.
Give people a couple minutes to put their questions together, and we'll see what comes up.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, Julie.
Sorry, I just stopped sharing my screen. If we don't have any questions, that concludes our portion for the presentation. Questions do need to be submitted by Monday if there are any questions regarding the grant that are not addressed in the RFA. But that is it on our end. So thank you all so much for attending our pre-bidders conference.
1 second. So we have a question from Mr. White. It says, given the data tracking requirements, what specific metrics or outcome is DMPSJ looking for that would define success?
Gosh, that's a great question. Let me look at the question again and think that through. So give me 1 minute. Okay.
Hey, Tim, thanks so much for your question. I think what we're looking for is that you know the commercial corridor in the neighborhood that you're serving best. And so we lean on the submitting applications to let us know what are the outcomes and what does success look like for you. What success might look like for you may be different in other parts of our community. So we really lean on what the application's contents and narrative and outcomes are, and looking for how are you going to know that this grant impacted that action that you're trying to either improve or get a better outcome. So we will trust your metrics gathering and your level of success. So there is no barometer where we define, well, that wasn't successful to us, because this grant is really at the root of community building and making sure that we, as a part of our mission, as Julie said at the top, our job in DMPSJ is to work with our public safety and justice agencies, and really throughout the entire government and the community. It's really about improving the quality of life in our neighborhoods. You know your neighborhoods best. You identify the outcomes and tell us how you're going to measure to whether or not the grant was successful. Hopefully that answers it.
Thanks so much for your question.
Does it like that address the question? You raised a good point, though, that some people might be typing from their phones.
Yeah.
So we'll give people a little bit more time to enter some questions if anything has come up. Another good idea. If it is easier for you to indicate that you have a question by raising your hand in the meeting, we can address the questions that way as well. We understand that there are tech issues going on all over the place today.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you all again so much for attending today. We really appreciate the time you all are taking from your Friday for our pre-bidders conference. So thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.